Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. You've got myself, Sharon, and Dante St. James here with you today. We're super excited to be chatting with you today about something that is fresh in everyone's mind, and it's a constant conversation that we seem to be having. So we thought, you know what, let's get together and have a chat about that with you all. So we'll just wait a few moments. I can see everyone popping on here. And I am going to launch a poll whilst we have everyone joining us. So if you could just take a few minutes to complete the poll, that would be fantastic. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. You've got myself, Sharon, and Dante here with you. And if you are here to talk about all things ChatGPT, then you are in the right place. We'll get started in just a moment. If you're just joining us, if you could take a moment to complete the poll, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so I can see here that so far we've got 67% of people that haven't started using ChatGPT yet, and we have 33% that have, so that's fantastic. And let's have a look here at what everyone's role is with content creation, meaning newsletters, blogs, and any content online, social media, etc. So we have 50% of people that said that, yes, they're mainly responsible, and it's a bit of a tough gig working out that content. And we have 25% of people that say, yes, but I'm all good with the content. Fantastic. High five to you. And we have 25% of people that say that they're not responsible for the content. And last question we've got, how long has everyone been in business? So we've got a bit of a good mix here as well. So we've got 25% that are under 6 months, 6 months to 2 years, we've got 25%, 2 to 5 years, 25%, and wouldn't you guess it, 5+ years, we've also got 25%. So thanks everyone for joining us today and completing the poll. I won't take up too much of your time this afternoon, because I know that we're all super excited to hear from Dante. So before we jump right into that, what I would like to do is an acknowledgement of country. So I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we work, live, and meet today. We pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. We celebrate the stories, culture, and traditions of all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities who also work and live on this land. So as mentioned at the start, I am Sharon and I am a small business facilitator. And along with Makala, we make up the Business South team. We can help you with any assistance with your business idea. So anything that's not yet launched that you'd just like to thrash around the table, startup advice, networking workshops like today, online and offline workshops. And we do have a great sense of business community and a lot of connections. So we are able to link and refer you up to qualified professionals as well. And all of our services are completely free of charge, as are our workshops, etc. So if you're here today to learn any of these 8 things, I'm going to say that you're in the right place, the right time. And if you would like to, please pop in the chat which one of those numbers most excites you about today. We'd love to see the results on that. So you might be here to learn how to access ChatGPT, understanding its limits, engaging, generating engaging social media posts, or it could be any of the others there, exploring other popular our writing tools. So there is a really good mix there. So we'd love to hear what you're here mostly to learn about today. So without any more further ado, I'd like to welcome the one, the only, Mr. Dante St. James to the floor. We are super thrilled to have you, as I've already said. Dante has been in this industry doing his fabulous thing for some time now, and we won't give the exact number unless he wants to do that, but I know that he is well and truly skilled to deliver what he'll be talking about today. So all things media, marketing, technology. We take our hat off to you, Dante, and we welcome you to the floor. Over to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Sharon. I'm coming to you from the land of Gualamajin people, otherwise known as the Larrakia people of the Darwin area. We call Darwin Garamilla, and really respect that I'm on land that's very holy and sacred to a whole lot of people. I've been doing this a very long time. So I started building my first website in 1996, but ChatGPT wasn't with us until November last year. So it was the end of November 30 last year was when it was released. On the 1st of December, I was in there and I was trying to make it work and seeing what it did with the limited amount of knowledge that people seem to have about it. And it was a really fun experience to be able to do that, to go into a system that was completely unknown, that people didn't understand, people didn't have any real idea what it could do, and then working out very early what it could do, and then collaborating with other people around who also were learning at the same time what this thing was able to do. So today, what I'm going to bring to you is probably not just what I learned back on December 1, but what we've learned since. There's been a lot of changes to this one particular tool and to the AI area all over. In fact, AI has become such a massive, ubiquitous thing in our lives that half the time we don't even know it's there. Sharon, I just need to get you to approve me to be able to present and share screen because it's just not letting me do it. So what AI is a big catch-all sort of area for a lot of things that do with automation. I prefer to use the word automation, to be honest, rather than AI. AI, we think of the Matrix, we think of the Terminator, we think of Skynet taking everything over. And it's quite a scary thought when you think, oh, AI could be capable of doing all those things. Now, though, we think of AI more as machine learning or automation. And that's what ChatGPT is. Rather than artificial intelligence, it's more like it's a, I'd say it's more like it's a way of automating certain things we do. So today we're going to look at a lot of things. We saw those numbers that Sharon had up before. We're going to look at how to access ChatGPT. We're going to look at understanding its limits, generating some social media posts. I might even go a bit further than social media posts and show you how to turn a social media post in ChatGPT into an article as well. We look at crafting some persuasive emails because it's really good at writing very formulaic things. We're going to look at avoiding plagiarism and a couple of the tools that I use for that. The Google factor, which is how does Google feel about articles that are generated in AI? And that's changed significantly this year. And then some other tools. So we've got things called Write Sonic. I'm going to look at future tools. I'm going to look at Neuron Writer as different sort of writers that do very, very similar things. And they've all got a tie into ChatGPT. But mostly what we're going to be looking at is the things that are free for you to use. My background at the moment, I work with the Darwin Innovation Hub in the Northern Territory, which is it commercializes businesses. Basically, it's an investment hub which looks for great ideas and brings them into an incubator environment and then commercializes them. I was lecturing this morning at Charles Darwin University. I was lecturing for James Cook University as well, out of Cairns as well. So there's quite a bit of lecturing I do in the area of innovation and design thinking. Unleash Business is a new collective of digital advisors that I've joined in. That's what the U is, and my own business, ClickStarter, which is a digital marketing agency and digital training company as well. So ChatGPT, here's how you access it. Chat www.openai.com. Now, feel free to follow along and get onto that yourself. Probably don't try and get it on your phones. It's not made for the phone. There is a ChatGPT app for iOS, for Apple iPhones, but it's not going to really help you to follow along that easily. It's a little bit fiddly to use it on a phone. So you do use it on a desktop, but the worst an iPad, but it's not yet available completely and working for Android just yet, but it will eventually be there. So when you go in there, you're going to notice that there's going to be some limitations. It will put up a message underneath it that says that sometimes it won't get things right. Sometimes it's going to tell things that aren't necessarily true. It's got its own way, and we'll see that shortly. But what you need to understand is the information in the database for ChatGPT was cut off at the 21st of September 2021. So its knowledge of the world is only up until that point. Everything that's happened since then, who won the grand final last year, what the sports results were last week, the news that happened in the last 6 months, calculations. It's really bad at doing calculations. Sometimes you can give it a simple calculation and it will get it hilariously wrong and be so convinced that it's right about it. So you got to understand what ChatGPT is for and what it's not for. Really bad at calculating, really bad at facts, because sometimes it mixes up facts. For instance, a case very recently where a lawyer in America used ChatGPT to generate a whole lot of precedent cases to support his clients filing for a motion in the court. But the problem was that ChatGPT completely made up those cases and those precedents. So the lawyer got into a lot of trouble and he was trying to claim, but the computer said it was true. I even asked it, I said, is this true? And it said yes. And that's what you've got to understand about ChatGPT. It works better with the information you put into it to generate really good writing results out of it. So as long as you're not looking for news, calculations, sports results, or relying on it without checking your facts first, make sure you do check your facts separately. So what we're going to do is start off by going into ChatGPT and generating some social media posts. Now, I've got my window up here for ChatGPT. So you can see I go to chat.openai.com. Let's share the tab. There we go. You can see it now. And I've got a different version that you may have in the free version. My version is showing both ChatGPT 3.5, which is what is available to free users. So when you first go and sign in, you'll get that version. I've got over here ChatGPT 4. Now, ChatGPT 4 does a lot of extra things. It's got plugins. So for instance, I can say that because this is limited to the world before September 21, 2021, I can plug in web requests, which actually search the web for current news. So it gets current information. I can create memes. I can create a script based upon YouTube transcripts from YouTube videos. I can read links of things. There's a lot of extra things. This Vizsla can even generate a video for you in ChatGPT and give you the link to go and download that video that it's created out of stock footage and stock photos and the information it's been able to generate. So it does some pretty phenomenal things. We're going to play with the free version, the ChatGPT 3.5. Now, the very basic thing you'll do, you speak to it like you'd speak to a person almost. So you say, hey, can you generate social media posts? And it'll go, yeah, sure, of course I can. I can generate social media posts. Now, just give me some information. What kind of post do you want? Do you have a specific topic or purpose in mind? Let me know the details and I'll assist you in creating a post. So I'll go, I'm creating a post. Sorry, I got ants biting me. A post for Instagram. So you might say if it's Instagram, the photo is of a sunset over the Indian Ocean at Perth. Write me an inspirational message to match this. So we haven't given it an image. We've just said, this is the image that we're going to use. Let's see what we can get it to do. So I'm creating a post for Instagram, captured the breathtaking hues of nature's masterpiece as the sun dipped below the horizon over the Indian Ocean in Perth. Moments like these remind us of the unparalleled beauty that surrounds us, urging us to pause, reflect, and appreciate the wonders of our world. I'm reading this and just going, that's a whole lot of words. That's a lot of words. I want something way, way shorter than this to start with and something that's way less formal. So I'm going to say, for instance, I'm going to take all that information. I like the information. It's just too formal. Make this less formal, more casual. Typing is not brilliant. More casual and half the length. It's just too long. I might say add more hashtags because it's in Instagram. So we're basically saying, okay, I like that. I just want to sort of massage it a little bit. So now it's going to come out. Chasing sunsets like a dream. The epic sunset over the Indian Ocean in Perth had me in awe. Nature's magic at its finest. Take a moment to soak in the vibrant hues and let the tranquility wash all over you. Grateful for these breathtaking moments that remind us of life's simple joys. That's a great caption. But the problem is, it's not very me. I'm a little bit more colloquial than that. So what I'm going to say, be more Australian, but avoid being too much like Steve Irwin. Because what happens is when we ask ChatGPT to be more Aussie, it generally turns into Steve Irwin. It's like crikey, struth, and all these words that nobody really uses anymore. So let's see what that says. G'day, mates. Just witnessed an absolute stunner of a sunset over the Indian Ocean in Perth. Nature really knows how to put on a show, doesn't it? The colours are unreal, mate. Now, I probably would take away some of the Aussieisms in there, but it's a much closer to what I would speak like. Just had an absolute stunner of a sunset. Nature certainly does know how to put on a show. It's absolutely unreal. Just take a moment, soak it in, let it ignite that spirit within you. I'm so grateful these moments of beauty that really appreciate our amazing land down under. So that is a much less formal, much less over wordy, and much more like I'm looking for. It will give me a bunch of different suggested hashtags in there. But let's just say I want to take that information. I want to do something more with it. I might want to go, I don't want to just choose from one, generate 5 more. I'm asking it to generate 5 more variations of this same thing to give me something to choose from. So it's giving me, and very quickly, mind you, in 10 seconds, I've got 5 different social media posts on that same theme. So what it does, as you're going down this conversation, it's remembering what it's done before and what you've asked it to do before. So it keeps it informal. Lost in Sunset's embrace, sunset vibes hitting the shores of Perth, nature's masterpiece unveiled at sunset. So it's not making it purely all very formal anymore. It's actually taking some of that in and saying, yeah, I'm going to take those ideas you asked me to give it and then add those into these new ones that it's generating. And if I don't have any of these I like, I'll just go generate another 3. And so I just want another 3 of those. Sunset lays, these are pure gold. That's something that I would say. So that's when it's getting closer to what I think it is. Now, I look at that and go, I reckon I can do even better again. I'm going to say, I am a teenager who loves memes and TikTok. Rewrite this caption with this style in mind. And let's see what it does. I'm giving it a voice. I'm giving it a persona that I want it to look at. So, oh my God, just caught the most epic sunset vibes over the Indian Ocean in Perth, and it's straight up meme worthy. The sky went like, oh, hold my sunset and bless this with the most lit colors ever. So it's again, come and take that. It's even mentioned TikTok in there because I mentioned TikTok as well. So it's now gone into a completely different voice. I can then say, write this like, who's someone like maybe like Justin Bieber. How would Justin Bieber write this? Yo, what's up, fam? Just witnessed an insane sunset over the Indian Ocean in Perth, and it was straight up fire. The colors on another level, no cap. Nature really flexing its beauty game, making us all feel blessed. Let this moment be a reminder to stay grateful and spread the love vibes, because life is all about chasing sunsets and making memories. So it takes in what it knows about Justin Bieber and the way that he tends to post and the way he tends to speak, and then allows us to go, oh, okay, we've got a completely different persona in there altogether. So as we've done that, I can say, take this same persona and write another caption about the best, burger in Hobart. And so it's going to take that same, yo, Hobart fam, just had the most insane burger experience. It's got my taste buds straight up vibing. So it's taken Justin Bieber again and written the same style, but about a burger. So once you've found that persona you want to work with, that then becomes part of your way you're going to write. So what you can say is if you are generating a new chat, so up on the top left, I'll generate a new one. I'm going to say, act as Justin Bieber. You are traveling Australia and taking in the sights in Sydney, Hobart, Launceston, Burnie. Let's go to Strawn as well. And then up to, I don't know, Adelaide. Write 10 social media posts of no more than 50 words each about the different places you have traveled in Australia. Let's just say that. Nah, it's usually pretty good at picking up your spelling errors and just like imagining what it is that you actually did write, we're meant to write there. So we're Justin Bieber, we're traveling Australia, Sydney, you never cease to amaze me. From the iconic Opera House, the breathtaking Bondi Beach, this city has it all. Hobart, Tasmania's hidden gem. I don't know about that. It's pretty obvious. It's the capital of Tassie. The stunning landscapes and rich history. Now, what I'm looking at here is one thing that it's absolutely missed. It's not writing it like Justin. So even Port Lincoln, you've stolen my heart. This is not the way that Justin Bieber would write. So I'd say rewrite these in the style of Justin Bieber. I think that is actually his correct name. Sydney, you're straight fire. Hobart, you're a hidden gem. Launceston, you're like a dream come true. Yo, Bernie in the house. Strawn, you got me in a trance. So it's now starting to speak more like Justin again. So this is now a way that you can get that feel and that vibe and that voice into anything you like. I can now say, for instance, write an email to my mother telling her that I won't be home for dinner tonight in the same persona. Let's see, it's like, sorry, Mum, come home for dinner. Hi, hope you're doing great. I want to shoot you a quick email, let you know it's been a whirlwind of a day. That is not how Justin would write. Rewrite in the style of Justin Bieber. But sometimes it doesn't really pick up what you're exactly saying. Hope you're rocking it. Dropping you a quick email to let you know I won't be able to make it home. My bad for the short notice, but things got crazy out here. Currently in Adelaide, this place is off the charts. I'm fully immersed in the epic vibes and soaking up the local flavor. So I was now writing Mum an email to say you won't be home for dinner in a Justin Bieber style. I don't know why I chose Justin Bieber. My apologies for that, for putting you through that. But it gives you an idea that you can step in and out of different things. So I can say rewrite this in the style of Morgan Freeman. And it will rewrite it in a style that Morgan Freeman. I hope this message finds you well. I regret to inform you that I won't be able to grace your dinner table tonight. Please accept my sincere apologies for the short notice. As fate would have it, I find myself in Adelaide. So it's got that very Morgan Freeman narration style that he's quite famous for. You can pick any really well-known person, or you can even choose a generic person of a different kind. You can say, rewrite in the style of a 13-year-old girl, and it will then pick out some of that. Got some bad news. Won't be able to make it home for dinner tonight. I'm super sorry for telling you so late last minute. Guess what? I'm in Adelaide. I don't know what a 13-year-old's traveling in Adelaide away from mum doing. And it's like totally awesome here. There's so much happening. I just can't miss out. It's going to be epic. So it's now speaking in a different tone yet again. So it can step in and out of all these different tones. Now, while we've been playing with these tones, it gets me thinking. There's another thing that ChatGPT does very well. It can act like a certain kind of person with a certain kind of skills. Let's just say you act as a copywriter who provides services to the health sector, assist with their communications with the public. Your writing style is accessible yet clear and correct. Factually, you must be precise. So you're basically describing who you are and telling it to act as you. So factually, you must be precise. Now write me a media release about the trial for a new cancer medication that has had some promising results. I'm giving it very little information. I'm not saying what the cancer medication is. I'm just saying, let's just see what it does with that. So you're a copywriter, you're not a doctor, you're a copywriter. New cancer medication shows promising results. Here we go, back up again, in groundbreaking clinical trial. A leading innovator in the field of medical research is excited to announce the positive findings from a recent clinical trial for a groundbreaking cancer medication. The trial, conducted in collaboration with esteemed oncologists and research institutions, has shown remarkable potential in the treatment of various forms of cancer. This medication known as, and it gives you the space. So you can see this is writing it in a very clear and very factually correct way. It just needs you to offer in those things. So it's offering in pretty much holding text. The trial results have demonstrated encouraging efficacy and safety profiles, paving the way for a potential breakthrough in cancer care. So it's not making promises, it's saying it's shown some good efficacy. So it's being very safe in here. It's not trying to overstate what the success is. Furthermore, it's got a favorable safety profile with only minimal and manageable side effects reported by trial participants. So if you're a copywriter writing in the health sector, the medical sector, you could use this to basically do your structure out for you, and then you fill in what the facts and figures are in there. The idea being that ChatGPT itself isn't going to fill in the facts for you. It'll have holding places for the facts for you to put in there. But what it will do is it cuts down that time for
Dante, I'm not sure if it's just me, but you seem to have cut out your voice.
There you go. We should be back in again with the voice. Sorry about that. And it also cuts out my sound, so I wouldn't have been able to hear anyone as well. My apologies.
Yeah, no, you're back now. All is good now.
Corrected now. Now I can hear again as well. So what it does, it allows me then to jump between various formats. So that's how you generate something as small as some kind of social media thing. Now, if I had the social media thing I was doing earlier with the Aussie sightseeing adventure, let's just say Justin, we had him writing letters to his mum. We had him traveling all around Australia and rocketing in Adelaide. So what we might want to do now is write an article of 300 words about Justin Bieber's trip around Australia based on the earlier results. So it's going to look at all the things we've written before and it's going to base an article of 300 words on his trips around Australia. Let's see what it does. Justin Bieber pop sensation known worldwide has been an exhilarating journey across the beautiful landscapes of Australia. Couldn't resist the iconic landmarks in Sydney. Tasmania, which is often overlooked, became a hidden gem for Bieber. He explored the picturesque cities of Hobart and Lonnie, went to Salamanca, Cataract Gorge, left an lasting impression on him, showcasing a unique blend of history, art, and natural beauty that Tasmania holds. So it's then turning all those ideas then back into an article that we can then take that and put that into anywhere we like. That can be a blog. Now, the problem is, though, that whilst this is a really, really good article, if I was to go to an AI testing to see if this is something which is definitely written by AI, and if someone has the ability to be able to see if something's written by AI, they actually do. There's a couple of tools that do it. This one called the AI text classifier. You see the address up there. It's one of OpenAI's own ways. If I copy this now into this text box and ask it to look at whether it believes that this was made in AI, but bear in mind, this is made by their own AI, it's going to give me a result. It considers that it's very unlikely to be AI generated. Now, this was generated in AI 100%. But there's things that we did in the lead up to that article which made it seem less AI. Number one, it's very, very specific. So sorry, you couldn't even see what I was doing there in this shared tab. The shared tabs aren't all shared. So this classifier considers the text to be very unlikely to be AI generated. So if I go back to our other tab where we actually wrote this, it's not just, whilst this is 100% generated by AI, it's also based upon all these decisions we made earlier, such as rewriting in the style of a 13-year-old, rewriting in the style of Morgan Freeman. It's taking all this into a case. It's now made it so custom and so specific to all these different places: Kangaroo Island, Port Lincoln, Barossa Valley, Great Ocean Road, Adelaide, Strahan, Burnie. All these places are so specific that it's hard to tell whether it's actually been generated in AI. It's like, well, I can't tell. And to be honest, it's so specific and it references so many specific places that it probably isn't written by AI. So you can actually get around the idea that you're generating something in AI, but ultimately the big test is plagiarism. Now, I use a tool called Grammarly. I don't know if anyone else has come across Grammarly, but Grammarly is like a spell checker. It helps you with your grammar to write better grammar, to write better things. And it helps you to get a lot better at the, have I dropped out again? No, I'm back in. It helps you to be able to tell in my premium version, you'll get a less of these in the free version, to copy and paste in your writing, and it'll tell you whether it's plagiarize, how you can write it better, how you can make it read a lot easier if the ChatGPT version is a little bit bad. We also want it maybe casual. We want to inform people, people who are going to have a very general knowledge of this, and it's very informal. So this is going to give me a ton of suggestions of how to clean that writing up a little bit. But the main one I'm looking at is down the bottom right, is plagiarism. The plagiarism check is going to text check this against billions of other web pages to see if I've just straight up lifted this from somewhere else. After checking all that, it's telling me there's only one thing that it thinks it might be plagiarized. 2%, and it's this one sentence: iconic landmarks like the Sydney Opera House and the sun-kissed shores of Bondi Beach. I can change that from iconic to well-known, and that will then reduce that down. So it's still going, oh yeah, it still might be from plagiarized, but yeah, I might change it: well-known and iconic spots like the Sydney Opera House. And now it's telling me that all this text that we generated is 100%, just 100% original. It's not plagiarized. So it gets around plagiarism. You can see now how in universities and colleges and schools, they're thinking it might be a bit of a problem, because how will you be able to tell? And that comes into tools like this one called GPT-0. Now, GPT-0 is an educational tool. I can copy this in here and it will give me a very different response than what the other one did. Let's get the results of what this one thinks. So our ensemble of detectors have predicted different results for this text. The first one is, so it's taken all that text and it's saying it's got a perplexity score of 76%. So it's pretty out there. Burstiness of 48%. it's kind of giving the idea that says, okay, well, we've got some ideas in here. Is it likely to be written by AI? Well, let's highlight the first 5,000 characters to see if they are highlighted in yellow as if they might be actually generated by AI. And it's not showing any yellow highlights in here at all in that first 5,000 characters in the first version. So what it's saying is, well, it's very unlikely that any of this was AI generated. So we didn't do too bad when back in ChatGPT, we used all these different modifiers to make it feel like it was much more realistic. We gave it personality. And that's the thing. You add a tone of voice, you add a character, you add specific information, and suddenly it's not just spitting back very generic things, it's saying very specific things. Stunning coastal beauty of Port Lincoln. Yeah, we know that. And they do shark cage diving there. And it's an adrenaline junkie's paradise. We know that. So if we check through those facts, we go, oh yeah, Kangaroo Island, you can see cuddly koalas, this unique fauna there. Barossa Valley is a wine lover's haven. We know that. Strawn is absolutely gorgeous. The untouched wilderness, the crystal clear waters, that certainly makes it, yeah. The Penguin Observation Centre, don't know if that's quite right at Burnie, but maybe if we go to Penguin itself, we can see a particular fiberglass penguin sitting by the beach, maybe. So some of those things you may have to look at and go, is this true? Is this not? Is this something which we can actually get in there? Launceston has Cataract Gorge. That's right. The vibrant streets with charming cafes and boutique. Yeah, that's quite right as well. Hobart, Salamanca, the amazing local crafts and delicious food. So there's correct things that have come up there. So it's really doing a good job of knowing this. But if I was to start a new chat and say, what was the results of the AFL last weekend? It's not going to know because it doesn't have that information built in. It's going to say, I apologize, I can't give you that information. I don't know that information. But if I was to go into the paid version that adds a web search as part of it, it can actually do that. So there's a lot of expanded things we can do. So while we're looking at all this, I guess then we've also got to look at the fact that we're not just looking at generating social media posts, but we're also looking at the ability to be able to craft persuasive emails. We're trying to persuade mum that we were not going to be home for dinner tonight. So we've kind of seen that as well. We've avoided plagiarism, but how about the Google factor? How does Google think about this sort of stuff? Well, Google actually doesn't have a problem with AI anymore. They used to. There used to be part of their terms of service that if you have AI generated content on your website and they find out, you will be ranked down in their search results. That's no longer the case because they've got their own AI tool called Bard. So I'm going to open up Bard and show you this one. So it's very similar to ChatGPT. So Bard is going to use precise locations. It understands the World Wide Web right here and now. It's not locked off at September 21, 2021. So what we can write in here is who won the AFL matches last weekend. And it will do a better job. It may not get it right though, because last time I did this, it got it horribly, horribly wrong. So it's like Richmond defeated Sydney, Lions defeated the Weagles. I'd have to go and compare that and see what the AFL results. So let's go and see what Google says. AFL results. Let's see what it has to say. So we had, which one I remember, Freo and Carlton. So Carlton beat Freo. So Carlton, not even seeing Carlton in there. Or Fremantle defeated Carlton. So that's actually the wrong way around. Carlton defeated Fremantle. Was it 45-6? No, not quite. It's 98-45. So it's still not bringing back all the facts we think it would bring back. So that got that one wrong. But Bard may also be able to do things like, can you describe the process it takes to make the perfect tea cake? Never made a tea cake in my life. I remember we used to have them when I was a child because mum used to make them. So can you describe the process it takes to make the perfect tea cake? Factual stuff that it can bring up. There you go. Here is the complete process to make the perfect tea cake. Preheat the oven to 180, 160 fan force, blah, 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 blah. And it goes through all that. Where can I buy the ingredients? If I say that, it remembers the conversation I just had about that. I'm buying it. I want to make a tea cake. Here are some places where you can buy the ingredients: supermarkets, bakery supply stores, online. It's giving us some ideas of where online it can be. So it's a very similar tool to ChatGPT, completely free. It's no paid at all, but it is very experimental. Like we saw the AFL results, it gets them hilariously wrong. And it really does. But if I was to ask who won the AFL grand final in 2022, see if it gives us the right result. God, this could be scary as well. So AFL grand final 2022. That's 2020. Now I want 2022. The 2022's actual winner, because I didn't watch it last year, was Geelong. So did it get it right? Geelong Cats won. There you go. So it actually got that one right. It's got a bit of great information in there, but it's not looking at last week's round. It's looking at last year's grand final results. So sometimes these get it really right. Sometimes they get it really wrong. At the moment, ChatGPT is a far superior version of these two tools. I use Bard if I just want to get a bit of a different result to see if there's something comes up with better facts in it. It does tend to get facts a little bit better, but ChatGPT does at least tell you that it can't do certain things but can do others. So we can say, who was the greatest AFL player of all time up until 2020? And it'll give us some kind of opinion. So it's Lee Matthews. It's got in Lee Matthews as perhaps one of the greats, but others such as Wayne Carey, Gary Ablett Sr., Graham Polly-Farmer. So it's got a lot of different people in there as well. But apparently Lee Matthews, it reckons, is one of the greatest players of all time. So you may have opinions about that or not. It depends on who you follow, I suppose. So lots of facts can come in. It's very, very flexible. Now, what I can do is I can now take, and this is where the repurposing comes in. I can take this statement here about the greatest AFL player of all time and turn that into other things. I can say, turn this into 3 social media posts about 3 of the people mentioned in this last result. So it's going to create me 3 social media posts about those people. So here's a post about Lee Matthews. Oops. Let me just regenerate that because I had a bit of a dropout of my network. So Lee Matthews, a bit about Gabriel Ablett Sr. and Wayne Carey. So all 3 of them mentioned as in that. Now what I can take is any one of those and then expand them out. Let's just say I want to produce a video. Turn part 2 into a video script for TikTok of around 60 seconds. And it's then going to give me a script for how I'd voice it over. It gives me then the suggestions of cutting to an image of Gary Ablett Sr., another voiceover, transition to a montage of his iconic goals and plays. So it's telling you what the things are you need to go and find. Go to YouTube, find Gary Ablett Sr. playing. Go up to a close-up of Gary Ablett Sr.'s face. Find a photo of that on Google. And this gives you then the script of how to create a TikTok that's all about Gary Ablett Sr. It gives you exactly what you need to do. Now, if I was using my own paid version of ChatGPT 4, I'm going to use one of my plugins. It's called Vizsla. I'm going to use web requests, which is going to pull out information from the web and from YouTube, from VoxScript, and it's going to create a video. So what I'm going to do is create a 30-second video that is about the ozone layer over the bottom of South America. A really random thing that I want to create a video of. Now, when you pay for ChatGPT, you get these options. It's $22 a month. So if I do this, and let's see what it does. It's going to go off and get information from various places. It's going to hit the web. It's going to hit, so it's using Vizsla now to bring all that information together. And it's going to put together the information that's found about the coverage of the ozone layer over southern South America. And it's now using Vizsla to create a video. So in a moment now, it's going to give us a link of where to go. It's been created. It's looking at the ozone layer of South America, a brief look at the ozone layer of the southern part of South America, learn about its importance and current state. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on watch video. So if I want to save it or edit, I need this claim. So watch video. It takes me then to another website, which is the Vizsla website. It's creating the video. It's now created the video. So let's play and see what it does.
In the vastness of space.
So it's
We zoom in on the southern part. But there's something invisible yet crucial. The ozone layer protects us from harmful UV rays. However, the ozone layer is under threat. Understanding its current state is crucial. Let's take a closer look.
so you get the idea.
Protecting the ozone layer is a collective.
I'm going to stop this one there because it gives you now the idea. It's created this based on stock footage and stock photos all together. It's created a 30-second video that is a little bit disjointed, but it put in not only the stock footage and the stock photos, but it's done a script. It's created the subtitles, and it's also put a fake voiceover on it. So if I was paying for Vizsla, which is a premium service, it removes all the watermarks, those story blocks watermarks that are sitting over the top of all the videos. So if you needed to create something really quickly for maybe for a presentation, that's one of the things that ChatGPT allows you to do through its plugins. So that's the difference between the paid version and the free version. The free version doesn't do all this. The paid version has these integrations where you can look at them. So that's just one idea. Another thing that I would use is, for instance, a ChatGPT plugin that allows me to read through YouTube videos much quicker. So let's go to YouTube. I'm just going to share this tab. See all my spelling mistakes, which are absolutely atrocious. Come on, give me YouTube. Come on, slow computer. You can do it. Close down some windows, maybe. YouTube. There we go. Okay, so let's go to here. So I've been watching something about the Nothing phone. So this Nothing phone, I'm going to go into there.
This is the brand new Nothing.
Now, I don't have time to sit down for 15 minutes and watch this. So I'm going to copy that YouTube there, go back to ChatGPT, and I'm going to ask it to read that link and summarize it. So in my new ChatGPT 4, again, this is in the paid version. So you would need the paid version to do this. I don't want it to make, I need Vox script because it's going to look for a transcript. I don't need a web request, and I don't need Vizsla. So I say, give me a summary of this video. I've got the video. So it goes off, it's going to look for that video. It's going to then take the transcript of that video and give me a summary of what's in it. So I can just very quickly decide whether the Nothing phone is actually a good choice for me as a consumer, rather than me having to watch a 15-minute review of a couple of guys going on and on and on and on and on. So it's now using Vox script to get the transcript. The video shared is all about the impressions of the Nothing phone. So in the video, the host provides hands-on impressions of the Nothing phone, discussing its camera screen specs. It's a successor to the first Nothing phone. It's priced at £579, a significant increase from the first one. It's more refined and premium than the first one. It includes the glyph interface, which doesn't really say much to me. With the second phone, the glyph interface is closer to the original version. So what I've done in there is like, doesn't really sound that interesting to me. So I won't go ahead and watch the rest of that video. So instead of spending 15 minutes watching the video, in about 35 to 40 seconds, I've got that. I now know what the video is about and can avoid it and move on. There are other things you can add into your Chrome browser that will then allow you to be able to do that summary within YouTube. So you can then see that whole thing. So for instance, if I go back to YouTube, sharing that tab again, if I add myself a YouTube, manage extensions, where's my YouTube guy? Where's he gone? ChatGPT for Google. Look at all my extensions. I've got so many of them on here. So I need to add a new one. So what I'm going to do is YouTube ChatGPT extension. YouTube summary with ChatGPT. I'm now going to install this on my browser. And these are other tools that allow you to sort of cut through and do things quicker. So I'm going to add that to Chrome, add the extension. It's now adding the extension up at the top. I've got the YouTube and ChatGPT. I'm just going to make sure it's always there and pinned to the top. Now when I go to YouTube, I'm going to refresh this. And it's going to now have a summary over on the right here. Transcript and summary. So it's got the transcript of the whole video, whole 15 minutes. Now I'll click on the ChatGPT. It's now going to take me over to another tab and give me the summary of it. So it's got the whole transcript. Now it's got the summary coming up. Let's see what it is. There we go. Much better summary. It's a thin, streamlined package. It's £579. It focuses on a glyph interface aimed to minimize screen time. And it's got a larger screen with increased brightness with improved cameras and a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor. If you know what those things mean, that might mean something to you. So you can make very quick decisions based on very long videos. So it might be very helpful when you're going to there and saying, oh, well, I want to see what the people that I usually watch think of. Let's see, not Donald Trump. That's just opening up a whole world of pain. Let's just say why the Apple Vision Pro is such an important thing. So we get the transcript, we get the summary. Let's go back to the new tab again. And what does it have to say about it? Let's see, it's going to say that the Apple Vision Pro, $3,500. It's intentional that it's that price. It's the best. It's a set of vision of the future. It's towards augmented reality. It's basically taken a really long video and summarized that down to something I can see much more easily. So there you have a bit of a summary of what ChatGPT does. But of course, ChatGPT is not the only tool out there. There are others. Now, I want to introduce you to one I use sometimes, which is called WriteSonic. To me, it's one of the better integrated tools. It doesn't just do a ChatGPT interface. It will also do things like writing articles in a more standardized way. So for instance, if I want to write an article about exploring Port Arthur as a tourist from, let's just say from Japan, I can search for articles that are about that, things that are very similar to it. If I've already got some articles, plan my visit. Okay, so I can take references from all these different websites and turn them into my very own place. So it's searched the internet. It said, okay, here's some articles. Let's now turn that next into something which is going to be a new article with all the information from those articles. So it's going to look, it goes out and it reads all those articles, analyzes them for the reference of exploring Port Arthur as a tourist from Japan. And it's going to try and write me an article in that. It's basically putting a lot of the work in front without me having to do the work, without me going and having to explore all these different articles. It will do it for it. So it's got about 2,649 words. Okay, yeah, okay, I think that will be good. So the word count's pretty good. Let's confirm that. And it's now going to start to put extra things in there. Now to use this feature, it wants me to upgrade to a business plan. So I've already used the points that I've got on here. But you can see it's like a much more technical interface. It allows you to go a little bit deeper into what you're looking for, to go and get inspiration from other websites that it goes and does the research for you. You can even then add in your tone of voice, just like ChatGPT does. Or if you've got keywords that you must have mentioned in the article. The other thing is too in here, you can have it in different languages. There's a ton of different languages that it can write it in for you. So if you're writing stuff for other languages, you're capable of doing that too. There's many, many other things you can do in this particular tool, WriteSonic. It'll do paragraph writing, generate blog titles. It will rewrite articles that you've already got. It'll write conclusions at the end of articles that you've already written. It can write product descriptions, Amazon sponsored brand ads, headlines. You can do a lot of e-commerce related stuff as well. So you're not always going to be stuck with the same stuff all the time. You can then go into very specific kind of things you want to do, and you don't have to work out how to prompt something like ChatGPT to do it. This is not a free tool. It will cost you, but it's going to be, it's probably something that you may consider is a good thing for you to pay for. And the other one I want to mention to you is Jasper. Jasper is a very popular AI copywriter. So this particular one is a little bit more on the pricey side, but it is a lot more technical, that it can do a lot more stuff regarding search engine optimization. So in Jasper, it'll allow you to do all the same kind of writing, but with a nice interface that allows you to do that in a more polished way than something like ChatGPT, and it keeps your tone of voice. So once you establish what your tone of voice is, then you can then have that tone of voice always carried across all of the things that you've got in your writing. Next one I want to show you is Neuron Writer. So Neuron Writer is very briefly is a search engine optimization writer. So for instance, I open up one of my projects, and it's I was doing some an article on brand storytelling. Now for me, it's telling me that the content competition for the context of brand storytelling on Google is 70. I got mine up to a 77. So at 1,584 words, I got mine up from 70 to 77. So that's great. What did it do to get me there? What I did is I copied and pasted in my article into the content area here. And then it told me over on the right what words and things to include into this article to get higher points. So I went right through there and added these terms right throughout this particular article, even doubling the length of the article in order to get those words in. And now that article is starting to rank on Google. It originally was around about 1,100. It's now in the top 70. So over time, I'll keep tweaking this to get it to a point where it's going to be in the top 10, maybe the top 5, and then I'll get the web traffic that comes with that. So this one's something I bought, I think, called AppSumo. So it's a lifetime deal, $69 US as a lifetime deal, and I never have to pay a subscription fee, and it gives me quite a lot of options each month to help me write my blogs. If you're trying to do something like, understand how to get higher rankings in Google. But if you just want to explore the world of AI and you don't really know what you want to do in AI, but you know you want to do something, this place, futuretools.io, is so useful because it allows you to go, I just want to see stuff. I want to see what's out there. I want to see what I can do in AI, what things I can do. Like, is there something that creates music for me? Is there something that creates generative video, copywriting, something that's going to help me with finances or with text to speech or scanning images or detecting AI? And then gives you those things. I go AI detection, and it'll now give me a bunch of tools that are around AI detection for audio and video content analysis. Find celebrity lookalike suggestions based on your photo. So there's lots of little things that are all AI powered that are able to be used. Some of them free, some of them paid, but you can just explore them one by one to find something that seems to be really useful for you. Futuretools.io is a really helpful site if there's something really specific that you want to do that ChatGPT doesn't really do. You want it to do something like generating music, generating voices, capturing motion, something specifically for marketing. You want to find marketing AI tools, then we look under here. Here's a ton of them, including plugins to Google Chrome, plugins to ChatGPT, replacements for ChatGPT, and podcast marketing even. Whatever you need to do, there's an AI tool out there, whether it's paid or free is up to the developers at the time, but it gives you a whole bunch of options to be able to look for. So it's futuretools.io, great place to look to find very new and very emerging technologies you might feel are really helpful to you. So I don't know if I've got a ton of questions there or not. Sharon, you can probably help me out there if there's any questions that have come up, or if you've got any as well that you might want to throw in.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dante. I just had to unmute myself. That was absolutely fantastic. And I've certainly taken my fair share of notes, and I've watched your YouTube video more than once. And yeah, so that was absolutely brilliant. I can't see that we actually have any questions that have popped up. I'm sure everyone is just thinking about what ways they can connect with you and further the conversation. So what I'm going to do is just wrap up today. Big, massive thank you to Dante for his time, energy, and effort in delivering a stellar presentation today. A couple things that you said that I made a note of to make sure that you add the personality, be a part of the conversation. And I wrote down a note for myself to make sure that you allow and schedule some time for editing what is put forward to you, because that's that human element in there. It's not just a matter of let's see what it gets and then reposting and you know, doing that. But if it feels cringy, then that's probably a good indication that it's not probably ready to go anywhere.
Exactly.
At that point, yeah.
I can quickly answer two questions on there. Sure. Random thought from Tony saying, when ChatGPT sources information from your website, does that boost your website's SEO? Absolutely not. There's no connection between SEO and ChatGPT getting information from your website. Who was it? It was Zoe, I think, is asking if there's a limited number of chats at any one time. So you can do one chat at a time. So it can only generate one thing at a time on ChatGPT, but you can have a long list of chats that you've had going, and you can go back to those chats later on. It keeps the list for you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Dante. I don't know if one other question just popped up. Let me just have a look.
No, we're clear. We're all good.
We're good? All right.
Good.
Wonderful. Well, thank you once again. I will send out an email within 24 hours with the recording of today's webinar. I'll also include in that email, for everyone's benefit, the direct link to Dante's YouTube and how you can connect with him through his email newsletter. And he does have a really cool, like, I call it a sales course. It's like a content course. I've obviously been receiving the emails, and I referred a few clients there, and it's a free thing. So I'm going to pop that in the email as well. And be sure that you head over to LinkedIn, where you can stay connected with Dante's content. And what I've found is that it is real, it is informative, but it's raw, and it's I think one of the most important things I've found, it's current. So it's the now of, like, the way that we're doing business and communicating. And I think that's really, really important. So on that note, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you once again. And we will stay connected with Dante, because he's a man that we want to keep around our tribe. And do know that there's something coming up in a couple of weeks, which we're doing together as well. So I look forward to that. Thank you again. And we will see you all soon. Take care, everybody.